Sadly, I need to open this briefing by announcing that 3 more deaths from COVID-19 were announced today. Our thoughts are with the family and friends. It is always a sobering reminder of the health impact of this pandemic on our community. People are aware of how coronavirus has had a devastating impact on our economy too. Each month of shutdown has been akin to a large recession. And of course, as we all know, and the Department of Health regularly says, there are significant health and well-being consequences of lockdown. The longer we are unable to do business and people are kept away from work, the greater the risk of long-term damage. My message has been that we need to support business to get through the initial phase of lockdown, but that we must now urgently plot a course out of lockdown and get business open again in a safe, staged and sensible manner. So far, we have distributed over 280 million in grants to businesses, and this vital financial support has helped to save many tens of thousands of businesses the length and breadth of Northern Ireland. The 40 million micro-business fund has also opened to applications, and it will provide much-needed support to businesses and eligible social enterprises, which have so far been unable to access other regional and national support measures. Over 2,000 applications have already been submitted to the Hardship Fund. In total, over 40,000 businesses in Northern Ireland will have been eligible to apply for support under all of the Northern Ireland COVID-19 grant schemes. Many businesses have also received from UK-wide schemes, and rates relief has also been a significant factor. As well as supporting businesses in the here and now, we must also plan for their future. Yesterday, I presented an economic paper to my executive colleagues, which complements the executive 5-stage plan to come out of lockdown. Charting a course for the economy, our first steps, is the first in a series of publications my department is working on. This document provides detail on the state of the economy and the impact of the economic shock, provides some international context and comparators, and outlines the guiding principles for how we should restart our economy. Decisions taken by the Executive this week demonstrate that as we are now beginning to see an easement of restrictions, progress will be gradual and in stages. As we move towards further relaxation, key will also focus on 2 themes: stay safe, save lives, and work safe, save lives. I would stress that those who can work at home should continue to do so. Many and manufacturing businesses have already returned to safe workplaces. Firms have adapted their working practice. Protocols are being prepared, particularly in the wider manufacturing and food production sectors. Chaired by the Labour Relations Agency, has also published workplace safety guidance to help employers, employees and the self-employed understand how to work safely during the pandemic. I have recommended a phased return for the retail sector. It has been provisionally agreed to extend Step 1's relaxation of the restrictions on garden centres from the 8th of June to include other non-food retailers, such as new and used car dealerships and large machinery retailers. We also have provisional agreement from the 8th of June to open non-food retail with lower frequency retail activities and larger store areas such as those selling household electrical appliances, mobile phones and furniture stores. This would only apply where outlets have direct street access or direct access within a retail park. The expert scientific advice is that the risk of the virus spreading outdoors is much less significant than indoors. Physical distancing must also be maintained, but people must also use common sense. Businesses will have already been planning for reopening and will have given consideration on how they can restrict how many customers are in a store, how to manage the flow of customers when in the store, and how to keep staff and customers safe when browsing or purchasing something. For this, location is important. Social distancing needs to be manageable in public spaces, outside of stores, not just inside. Store workers may need to assist in maintaining social distancing and encouraging good hygiene practices upon entry and then inside stores. This morning I had a very positive engagement through the Northern Ireland Retail Consortium with some of our leading national retailers. Their desire to return to normal but safe trading as soon as possible is clear. I share this desire. A coordinated approach across the executive will be required to help our businesses get back up and running and workplaces operating safely. Transport will be required for people to get to work, and people will need to feel safe to use it. Schools and childcare arrangements will support the process for getting people back to work, and parks will need as possible. The Department for the committed to working with the lead departments in these areas to ensure the steps we are taking in getting the economy moving again in lockstep with arrangements for transport, education, childcare and public spaces. If the R rate for the retail sector can be considered by the Executive over the next few weeks. At every stage, the Department will work with the Minister for Health to ensure the steps being taken fit in with the latest scientific and medical advice. Other papers on our economic recovery will be published by my department in the near future. We will outline how vulnerable but viable businesses will be supported through the pandemic. We will examine support for train and upskill, and we will state how we plan to deliver on the commitment for a strong, competitive and regionally balanced economy in these challenging times. At every stage, we will work to achieve the buy-in from all sections of society. We must look for consensus in emerging from lockdown, just as we sought it in going into lockdown. Our tourism industry is extremely important and needs our attention. We have set up a tourism recovery working group, and I chair that steering group. As we begin to emerge from the shadow of COVID-19, we will begin to see our tourism and hospitality businesses open up again. This too will represent an important step on the road to eventual and much needed normality. The Executive agreed yesterday that hotels can now take advance bookings in preparation for when they can accept guests. I understand the need for an indicative date on when they can open. I understand the need for businesses to bring staff back and train them prior to opening. I have raised my concerns that our hotels are at a disadvantage compared to competitors in the Republic of Ireland and Great Britain who have already started to take bookings. Ministers have agreed to give this matter further consideration and provide an update early next week. This, along with the position of caravan sites, bed and breakfasts and hospitality in general, are of the utmost concern. Last week I spoke with the Republic's Minister for Transport and Tourism and Sport, Shane Ross. Yesterday I spoke with airlines, tour organisers and travel agents from the US on what their customers are saying about when they would feel safe to begin international travel again and what they expect in terms of safety precautions when they get here. We discussed the need to develop a new tourism plan that takes account of marketplace realities and which considers the different scenarios in which we are operating. As an executive, we will be working hard to manage the recovery. We also rely on the support of the public to behave responsibly and use common sense to manage the safety of themselves and others around them. We also rely on support of arm's length bodies to government. And I would like to invite the Chief Executive of Invest Northern Ireland, Kevin Holland, to make some remarks on what Invest has and will be providing to businesses across Northern Ireland as we rebuild and regrow our local economy.